Hi everyone, and welcome to Heartcraftpaper. I'm so glad you could join me today. I'm going to be working with the Water Fae image from Heartcraftpaper. You can find the image at our site at www.heartcraftpaper.com. Let's go ahead and get started. For this project, you're going to need your Copic markers. So my color palette inspiration was The Little Mermaid from Disney, and she had that wonderful red orangey hair, but I wanted to make it a little bit lighter, kind of to look like flames. So as you can see now, I am starting with my lightest color and I am saturating the paper here. And that means just bringing in all that color. This will help blend out our darker colors as we go. So here is my mid-tone, and this is going to go a little bit further out from the edge where it's starting to create those shadows. And once I do that, I'm going to go in with a darker tone and add that in again along the edges. Now I'm going to use the darkest tone that I have. This is only going to be very small in usage and along specific areas that would normally have the darkest of shadows. I'm going to use the same coloring method throughout the whole entire hair. Now for some of the hair pieces, you'll notice that I'm going to go through and highlight or darken actually the inner portion towards the head, and then the outer portion where it bends or folds. This will create a highlight effect at the center of the hair, or that section of hair. I'm going to go ahead and speed up the process just a bit. Here I'm coming back out with my lightest color and just blending this whole thing out. Now don't worry if you are not quite as neat and you go a little bit outside of the line here. You can always fix that as you go along. As for me, along these white edges, I will use a jelly roll pen just to kind of clean that up some. Moving right along, I'm going to go ahead and start off with greens. Again, I took this inspiration from The Little Mermaid. So we're going to saturate the paper once again with our lightest color, moving on to our midtones and then on to our dark tones. Again, because we are using alcohol-based markers, if you saturate the paper at first, it will allow you to blend without really having to do much. So just go from one color to the next, and then if you feel that you need to blend, work it afterwards. Now, because my image was non-traditional as far as a mermaid goes, she became a fairy or a fae if you'd like. I'm gonna go ahead and color in her wings. Now I'm using blue greens for this, and as you can see, I'm going again with my 4-color combination with a light mid-tone, a dark mid-tone, and then a dark tone. So please, as you go along, you'll note that I do saturate my paper. It makes blending that much easier. I keep saying this over and over again, but it just helps, you know, kind of keep that in mind. Now we're ready to start coloring the skin. I'm going to start with E000. Now I'm freeze framing this so you can see it since it's a chow marker. It doesn't have the cap with the number, but as I go along, I'll go ahead and put down those numbers for you to see. I'm going to saturate all of the skin areas that I'd like, again with this being our lightest color. Next, I'm going to start working all along the edges where you're going to find shadows, and I'm going to start with E21. Once I've blended those out, I'm going to start on the lips, E93, which is very simple, just a one single color. For the shell, I'm just going to use 2 colors, which will be the base color and then something just to create shadow, a little bit of shadows there. Now we're almost done here. We're just working on the finishing touches, and we're going to start on her eyes. Using B00, we're going to do the lightest portion, and you'll note that when I do the coloring for the eyes, I start doing darker from the top and leave a bottom portion of the eye as the lightest. And this is because your eye normally casts a shadow from the top because of eyelashes. Working the pupil, we're going to do the same thing and work lightest from the bottom and darkening up towards the top. I'm going to add a touch of color to the bubbles here, and I'm using the B000, and this will add a little bit of color and darkening that up with B01. Now it's time to work this little guy. And like I said before, I took my color palette inspiration from The Little Mermaid Disney, and I wanted to make him something similar to Flounder. You'll note that I'm only using 2 colors for the fin and 1 for the eye. I figured blues and yellows complement each other very well, and especially since Flounder was blue and yellow, I wanted to continue that. The only difference here is that I added a little bit of orange to that just to darken the fish up a little bit. I'm almost done with this little guy. So the last thing that I have to color in is the tiara or crown that's on the Little Mermaid's forehead. I wanted to make it something similar to gold, so I'm going to start with my yellow and yellow reds. This will bring in those gold tone colors. And here is our water fae all colored in. Thank you for watching Heartcraftpaper. You can visit us on our website at www.heartcraftpaper.com. For more videos and tutorials like these, don't forget to subscribe.